what is happening to gaming. So, for those of you that don't know, Monster Hunter Stories 3 is out as a demo. So you can basically try it for free after the Nintendo Direct we had this week. And Monster Hunter is a series that I really enjoy, especially Monster Hunter Stories. With my friends, when they play Monster Hunter, I always say they are hunting a hideout, for example. They're fighting for their life, being like, take him, take it, take it. And I'm like, oh, the poor puppy, the poor dragon puppy. Oh, he means no harm, he's just scared. Like, I'd be more a stories protagonist than a mainline Monster Hunter protagonist. They also say that because I'd rather much train the creatures than then go and hunt them, even though in Monster Hunter stories you kinda also have to hunt them, but you know what I mean, you know, pick up the egg and whatever. However, as I went to look around and see what the new Monster Hunter stories has in store for us, I am unfortunately met with a very sad truth. Nobody is talking about the gameplay. Everything I'm hearing from people is just how graphically pleasing it is, how realistic yet fantasy looks, how it looks well even if it's on Switch, and so on and so on. Not a single word was spared towards the gameplay. And the playthroughs I saw even played the game, like, approach to the gameplay with no explorative interest to the mechanics, to everything. They just pressed the funny button with no further explanation, with no further attempt to understand the depths of the gameplay. And that is destroying me. That has destroyed me. Because I cannot stress this enough at this point. I think graphics in gaming are what is ultimately destroying the industry. Many games that are actually fun are overlooked because of the graphics. The most recent, most blatant clip of this is this one.
It's actually fucking 2D! Dude, and this is fun? Or am I playing fucking Jump King? No, this is actually ridiculous. You guys got me playing a 2D game. How do people find a permanently 2D game enjoyable? I'm gonna want to blow my... You guys hyped up this game? It's 2D! Bro, I didn't even look at the game page. I told you guys, I've not even looked at a single thing. I've never seen this game once. I agreed to play this game. The whole thing is two-dimensional. Who the fuck is Jeff?
This guy essentially is downplaying Terraria, a game I very much love that I play on stream almost always. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And this guy is downplaying it because of the pixel graphics. Not a single interest on the gameplay, not a single ounce of wanting to discover the world around it that just spawned around it, around the player. Nothing. Just what the heck is in pixels, and started trashing on the game. Same thing happened to games like Undertale, Deltarune, other games that I very much love, if you could not tell by the numerous references I put around and the fact that I dedicated an entire video to the Undertale's 10th anniversary. Not a single... there's people with not a single interest on the game because of the graphics. Games that, albeit older, but that forged gaming history, such as Final Fantasy VII, the original, not the remastered garbage, the remade whatever garbage. There's people that won't even try to play that game because of how it looks. And I can go on and on and on and on with the examples. And once again, I ask, what the heck is going on with gaming? I feel like in the last 10 years there's been such a massive shift towards the graphics aspect of gaming. And everybody is slowly forgetting that games are about gameplay, mainly. And then, if present, because there's survival games or games like Terraria or Minecraft, or most recently Hytale, that don't really have a plot that you gotta play through. You basically have to gather resources and survive and defeat the monsters. But gameplay is slowly fading away. More than 10 years ago, when Dark Souls 1 was released, it wasn't as instant as you may feel watching at Dark Souls content right now. It did gather a niche of interested people, because Dark Souls is a game as games should be. It has a interesting gameplay, and in this case, a plot and a lore to discover towards the items. And the graphics of Dark Souls 1 were absolute garbage. Like, the reviews for Dark Souls 1 punished the graphics that were nowhere near on par with the time. Like, it was insane. Like, just for reference, Dark Souls 1 came out in 2011. Okay? In 3 years before, Mirror's Edge was released. And Mirror's Edge graphics were absolute insanity. So having Dark Souls 3 years later being late to graphics was a matter of punishment for the critics. I disagreed at the time, like I'm disagreeing right now, because we have Soulsborne games today. We don't have Mirror's Edge born games today. Am I right? Because the gameplay of Dark Souls had a huge impact on the industry, so much so that more and more developers tried to replicate how cool it felt playing that game. Okay, because every single hit, every single mistake, every single victory you felt. There wasn't a super hype graphic moment to tell you won. Just a yellow writing saying boss defeated. Literally boss defeated. And when you lost, You died. Just that. And in the background, just your character playing a basic death animation. That's it. And yet, is what impacted gaming the most. Not because of how it looks, because of how it played. Every defeat, every victory, you felt as a player. Because you were the one that was controlling the buttons. And you lost and won depending on how you maneuvered within the game. And that is what gaming is about. You feel the consequences of the buttons you're using. You don't need a super amped up graphics like today to tell you how good or how bad you are playing. You don't need a super hyped up graphic moment, cinematic moment to tell you what's going on in the story. You just need to understand and live the game throughout pressing buttons. Gwyn's fight in Dark Souls 1, spoilers for Dark Souls 1, is merely a level 1 zombie you meet as you start the game. Did you need super amped cinematic graphics to understand what was going on to Gwyn? No. You understood because it felt familiar to fight it. To actually play the game. The game told you what to feel, what to understand, not the graphics presenting the game. You, as a player, playing the game actively, pressing the buttons, paying attention to the movesets, being someone that explored the gameplay, you understood that Gwyn was nothing more than a mere zombie with a couple of extra movesets because Gwyn is still the king. And that's it. That's all. That's all gaming needs. A gameplay that takes you in. A gameplay that involves you playing, not you watching it, if that makes sense. But this thing is being completely lost. Now, gaming is judged depending on how good it looks, how the graphics tell you how you should feel, not the buttons you are pressing. Only the presentation. In older gaming, a big part was you being involved into the gameplay and at the same time imagining how cool you are in that specific moment, how cool the fight was happening. And you didn't need fancy graphics to allow you to imagine that. It was you as a human being feeling the gameplay that inspired your imagination and completing what the game was presenting to you. That's what gaming is about. Video games are nothing more than an evolution of the games we play analogically. You play Dungeons and Dragons with your friends. The power of the gameplay, throwing the dice, making decisions, leaving the game without even needing to see where you are, but just using your imagination because you are involved in the gameplay is what makes the experience. When you as a kid went around and picked up a cool stick, did you need the stick to be shaped like an incredibly magical, powerful sword to understand that you should play as a magical warrior with a magical sword? No, you didn't. Just like you don't need a game to have perfect graphics. Going back to the example of Dark Souls, you don't need to have extremely advanced graphics in, I don't know, at the start of the game, say at the start, let's pick up an easy example, at the start of the game, you don't need extremely advanced graphics to understand how you should feel. Yo, this place sucks. This place sucks and all I have is a stick. And then you meet your first enemy. You don't understand the gameplay and you fight. You try and fight. You try to understand. In that moment, you don't need the graphics to tell you how to feel. You, as a player, are already imagining what you should be doing. You are, with your head, being like, oh, this fight is crazy. Okay, I'm picking up the first zombie, but you are feeling like, oh, this first fight is scary. Oh my god, what I should do? What should I do? What should I do? When you meet Orstein and Smaug, you don't need the graphics to understand how dangerous these guys are. Yes, the fight plays a cutscene at the start. It presents you the guy that is small, fast, agile, and the heavy one. But the rest is done by the gameplay. Oh my god, I got a dodge. And the dodging animation in Dark Souls sucks. It's just a guy rolling, it's not even realistic to actual fighting IRL. But that's what you imagine. You dodge, you feel cool. But nowadays, people expect the game to tell you how cool you should feel. People want super hyped animations to make you feel cool. But we never needed super hyped cinematographic animations to feel cool. We just needed to progress the fight. You may lose 10 times against the same boss, but when you win, makes you feel incredible. It's the reason why I really didn't like Kingdom Hearts 3. I said, the strongest thing in Kingdom Hearts 3 is not even you actually playing Kingdom Hearts. Is summoning the things, I don't remember how they were called, the summons, okay, that were just so broken and are nothing more than adulterated cinematics. Using your Keyblade, using your spells, changing forms with Sora. Nothing. You just summon the train, choo choo, you win the fight. That is all. And recently with Sony announcing the AI player that plays the game in your place, I don't see this getting any better. Because why would people bother pressing the buttons if they can just manually, intentionally trigger the AI player to play the game for them perfectly, and they can just look at the graphics, look at the cinematics? What is the difference with watching a movie or watching a video online. Watching a video online of a certain game is, in theory, what you do because you wanna see how that one player has dealt with a certain threat, how that player reacted to a certain thing that happened, and that should be it. Not playing the game and only watching it played is a miserable experience. Take me, for example. I cannot afford a wide variety of modern games that come out. Okay? Because my PC cannot handle it. First example that comes to mind, Monster Hunter. Yes, I had fun watching my friends play Monster Hunter. It sucked not being able to play. Watch Marvel Rivals. It sucked. It sucks not being able to play Marvel Rivals. Because I take a look at people and they're having the time of their lives. Deadpool got released. Dude, I wanna play Deadpool. But I cannot afford better pieces for my PC because it's too graphically advanced. But I wanna play. Monster Hunter. I cannot afford Monster Hunter. And even if I could, I cannot afford a PC that could run Monster Hunter. And with the whole RAM shortage because of the AI, it's getting worse. Graphics are pricing out people that actually wanna play games. And the people that go around, talk about graphics, don't even care about playing the game. They don't even take a look at how the gameplay is or isn't in depth. They just go and see, oh, the graphics look so good. Yeah, dude, I wanna understand the gameplay better. I wanna see how the game plays. Not how it looks. Everybody can stand there and be like, okay, the graphics, yeah, okay. But I wanna see the game. The actual game. The gameplay. The buttons you press. What do they do? How do you get involved into the game? That is what gaming is about. And prices of games are rising because of how much more they are putting into graphics. Not into gameplay, graphics. And those who do put a lot into gameplay, they have to raise the price. Because, sucks to say, but price plays a role on how people see a game. This game only costs $40. Must be a terrible game, not even worth the price of the other games. That's basically it. And I know that people said, oh, this game is only $20, it's better than AAA games. Yes, I know that. But that's just for Silksong. Because other games, nothing. At least from the graphics people. Because Silksong is a game like Dark Souls. People that talk so much about the graphics cannot play a game like Silksong. They get stuck like that one guy that got stuck on Cuphead's tutorial. But overall, that's it. Another reason why I really dislike the whole hyper-realistic graphics sentiment recently in gaming is the fact that completely erases character design. You know that one meme about, I think it was Frozen, where Elsa in the beta design was so styled, so beautifully conceptualized, so pretty, so unique. And then in the ending product is just girl 101. Just like her sister is, just like many Disney protagonists are after that. And the same thing happened in gaming. The most egregious example is, again, that steaming pile of garbage that Final Fantasy VII Remake is. If you look at how Cloud looks in that game compared to the original character design, you can see that the original character design is stylized. It has its own style, its own shape. The artist put work into it, put thought. It has their own style. It's an anime-esque style, a bit inspired perhaps by Dragon Ball because it kinda looks like Gohan, but it has its own perks, it's peculiar, it's weird, it's a fantasy character. Even the other characters look unique to each other. Look something nice, look something that is actually from something fantasy. Meanwhile, Final Fantasy VII Remake, you look at Cloud, it's just a blonde guy with some gel to keep the hair spiky. And that's it. And that has been going on for ages. And the Final Fantasy series is one of the worst culprits of this, just like many other games are. Character design doesn't exist anymore. Take a look at this example. Just what I said. Take a look at how older designs were made, where artists were involved, and how too realistic now they look and they lost all uniqueness. What is going on with gaming? Is cinematic graphics and a game that plays by itself through an AI player really the future? Because if it is, we are cooked. The industry is cooked. If gaming loses the importance of the gameplay, we're done. Couple of indies may still go. Team Cherry, Toby Fox, Redigit, iTail. Couple more, but what? We're gonna have to play one game every 5 years because there's only like 4 people that actually make games that are games. I don't know anymore. Thank you for listening to my rant. See you next time.